Hey, what's up guys? I'm Snows, your host for Boot Sequence, and let's jump right into the news right after the intro. Roll it! Power supplies. We all have them, they're in our walls and in our PCs. And while computer power supplies range in wattage from 300 to 1600 watts, we've never seen something as big as this. This is a 3000 watt or 3 kilowatt power supply for crypto mining. It's made by Afox and Qdian, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and this thing is a beast. But Snows, no one cares about such high wattage power supplies. Well, think about it this way. With computers equipped with a CPU like the 7980XE pulling over 800 watts at the wall when extremely overclocked, you would have room to spare for things like a chiller. That would mean that Intel wouldn't have to hide the exotic cooling unit behind their cases at the presentation. 3000 watts is definitely not something you would need in your PC, but for crypto miners, this thing can handle up to 12 GPUs and not budge. Although it doesn't even have an 80+ rating because this is clearly not meant for the faint of heart. Moving on, Lenovo, who graciously tricked us into believing in what was the Z5, seems to have inspired Vivo to announce the NEX phone, which has no bezels, with an asterisk, no notches, and a pop-up selfie camera. Very similar to their prototype, the Vivo Apex, which looked like a sleek slab of aluminum with no bezels. The new flagship NEX will sport an 8 megapixel pop-up selfie camera with a 7-inch OLED panel, a Snapdragon 845, 8 GB of RAM, a 4000 mAh battery, and it even looks better than the Apex in my opinion. Now I'll ask you a question and I want you to tell me honestly. Do you even care about bezels on a phone? I mean, it's not 2010 anymore, and me personally, I like my buttons and the space to rest my fingers on the front of my phone so it doesn't slip, because when there's no bezels, you're gonna be left holding it like this. Let me know your take on this down below. Love to hear what you think. Then we have Sony and their bad habit of trying to keep their players locked into their ecosystem. With Fortnite announced and available for the Switch, Sony decided to once again block crossplay with a Nintendo device. That means that, for now, if you're on Switch or Xbox, well, you can play with all of the other platforms except for PS4, and if you're on PS4, well, you can play with everyone except for Switch or Xbox. Sony's reasoning used to be that it was more pro-consumer and pro-children, and that they didn't want the toxicity to bleed into their ecosystem. But since then, that excuse kind of faded, and it seems like they just want to continue to be in the lead in the console sales market. Thoughts? You know where to put them. And now for a quick segment we all know and love, in case you didn't know. Google seems to have a podcast app in the works. After their old app Listen was shut down in 2012, Google hasn't had a standalone app for podcasts. Well, 9to5 Google spotted a snippet of code with a prompt asking users to get the Google Podcast app. I'm only bringing this up because I want to know what podcasts you guys listen to. My favorites are Start Talk, If I Were You, and Not Another D&D Podcast, but I'd love to know what yours are so maybe I can add them to my list. Next up, the iPhone is rumored to have a USB-C port on the next year's model. To create a sort of transition, this year they will be bundling up USB-C to Lightning chargers with their new devices. Rumor or not, I hope they don't. I only use that cable to charge my phone. Who cares if it's USB-C or USB Type-A? Just don't make me replace all of my cables. And then Xbox is apparently working on more than one device. Remember when Phil Spencer said,
"The same team that delivered unprecedented performance with Xbox One X is deep into architecting the next Xbox consoles."
That was plural. Are we going to see a next-gen console and a portable? Maybe a small streaming box that will allow game streaming, similar to the Nvidia Shield. I mean, with their focus on game streaming, I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to make either a tablet or an Xbox-branded phone. Think about it. And if you didn't know, now you know. And now for the gaming news, we have the Nintendo portion of E3 to talk about. Well, really, we have Super Smash Ultimate to talk about. The game brings back every single characters from the series and even adds 2 brand new characters, the Inkling and Ridley the Dragon. From tweaks to the dodging and shielding mechanisms to the small changes made to character models, this will definitely be a game where I will spend hours and hours. And now the answer to a question from you guys. Do you watch any TV series? So many. From the entire DC Marvel Universe shows to Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The 100 and sci-fi shows like The Expanse. I mean, I watched and am still watching so many shows I can't even keep track of them. Don't forget to leave a question down below for me to answer on the next episode. And that is pretty much it for the news today, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, it'd be greatly appreciated. And if you want, click right here to see the latest video. Boom, boom, right here and right here to subscribe to the channel. Boom, it's not moving, it's right here. Yeah, sorry, I have a lot of energy today. I don't know, I think it's because I ate a lot, but yeah, nice. Stay frosty.